Alrighty, folks, so this is some crazy news. Kari Lake just basically lost her job at the Voice of America. President Trump wrote, "Why would a Republican want Democrat mouthpiece Voice of America to continue? It's a total left wing disaster. No Republican should vote for it. Survival. Kill it." Now, Kari Lake lost the election in 2022 narrowly to Katie Hobbs for the governorship of Arizona. She lost the 2024 election, if you want to look here, by about 2.5 percentage points. Now, keep in mind, Arizona went for Trump by about 6%, so she underperformed President Trump by about 8 points in a competitive swing state like Arizona. Now, nevertheless, as a consolation prize, Kerry, for being a loyal MAGA supporter as she was appointed the director of the Voice of America. If you've never heard of it, I didn't until recently either. However, this is a long-established thing. Think about NPR, but for like the Congo or something, and it's supposed to spread pro-capitalism, pro-American democracy, sort of ideals. Now, the thing about Donald Trump doing this, however, is that Kari Lake has been a very loyal person. So he's just saying, and he probably doesn't even remember that Kari Lake works as the director of this, but he's saying kill it. Now, there are some copes out there. Kari Lake has been seen on Capitol Hill defending the dismantling of the department. Now, the problem I have with that, and you might be thinking, well, actually, isn't Lyndon McMahon, or whatever her name is, the wife of the guy who runs WWE, didn't she also sign up to be Department of Education secretary on the basis of it being dismantled? Yes, but the difference is that she's already a millionaire or a billionaire's wife, and Kari Lake has no such there's no plan B for Kari Lake. Now, on top of that is that Voice of America wasn't supposed to be dismantled to begin with. Trump didn't campaign on it. He probably didn't even know it existed until now, despite being president already. And Kari Lake is now saying that it was all part of the plan. Now, the problem with that is that Donald Trump here is saying, wait, why are we letting this exist? It's a left-wing disaster. Now, Kari Lake has been in charge of this thing for over 5 months. So how come she hasn't been able to fix it? She's MAGA. She's rhetorically effective. Voice of America. It's a good fit. However, again, you're in charge for over 150 days, and yet he's still calling it a left-wing disaster. How is that even possible? Now, this is interesting. Now, this was reposted by the Kari Lake War Room themselves. President Trump obviously calls in to destroy the VOA. However, Kari Lake has already fired 85% of their staff and cut hundreds of millions in spending. Now, here's my thing. If she's already fixing it, why are you deleting the whole thing? And if you're deleting the whole thing, why didn't you just do that from the get-go if you could already have done that? My hypothesis right now, pending any sort of other argument, is that Donald Trump forgot that he even gave her the job, if it was even him that hired her for VOA, and then was looking at what he can cut to fit into the big, beautiful bill and balance the budget. And he said, okay, well, I don't care for this. And then obviously everybody was defending Kari, saying she already did a great job. And even Kari herself is like, well, I already kind of fixed it. Yet he's just saying, nah, screw it. So it kind of just shows that Kari Lake sacrifices her whole career, if you want to call it that, and, tries to vacuum up the carpet for Trump. And meanwhile, Donald Trump forgets that she's even in that position, or rather, he doesn't even care either way if that's the case. It's tough. Now, this is interesting. Abraham Hamadeh, who is a guy who is a congressman and almost won the attorney general's race alongside Kari Lake in 2022 on that ballot, he is very close with Kari. And he's over here softballing her in this committee hearing today. And what's interesting about this is that he's basically goading her into bragging about how they translated something that Trump wanted them to say in Farsi in relation to the bombing of Iran. That being said, if you're spending time out of people's day, wasting taxpayer dollars, hosting this whole thing, glazing Kari on what an incredible job VOA has done, then why the hell are you also probably going to back Trump deleting the entire thing? It's not logically, it doesn't line up. It just doesn't. All right, guys. So I wanted you guys to just see a little bit of live footage as to how she's defending herself.
What the editorial content is, and I would hope that you would not be okay with that. They could literally put out a lie about anybody here. And I know you've been the victim of that. I know you've been the victim. I remember the stories about you where they said you had a gay lover, and those were going on
Mr.
all
Chair.
over.
Chairman.
Can I
I hope
finish the
you
story?
honor what you just gave as a caution to everyone, and I moved those words
To tell you that those kind of lies, and you said those were lies, those kind of lies could be broadcast today on VOA, and you couldn't pick up the phone, Representative Stanton, and call them and say, hey, you're putting out lies about me. You would not be able to do that because they would sue you for breaking the firewall.
Okay, so this is interesting. Number one, decorum out the window. Kind of funny. I like it. Secondly, again, it's all contradictory. It's either like you're going to complain about the service, but you've been in charge for 5 months, or you're not going to complain about it, and Trump just fired you and deleted the entire progress of the operation. You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to bite the bullet with Trump and say, oh, yeah, no, you did great. You just fired me. Yeah, no, it was worth it. And then on the other hand, be like, hey, guys, yeah, I did a great job, by the way. I almost fixed it. I was fixing it. How? For further insult to injury, here's Kari Lake as recently as not even a week ago, but June 21st, saying, I am proud of our team at Voice of America's Persian service. They're covering the historic news and will be broadcasting President Trump's message translated into Farsi so the people of Iran can hear it. So again, what is it, Kari? Either you're proud of the service and then also acknowledging that by President Trump defunding the whole thing, you're going to lose services that are essential, such as the one you're bragging about, or you're lying and the Persian service is irrelevant and nobody cares. And the big beautiful bill will steamroll your entire career up until this point. It's a tough sell, is what I'm saying. All right, guys, so two last things before we go. So she does this interview with Real America's Voice, which again is like the Dalisto. In fact, Newsmax, you could say, or OAN, is the Dalisto Fox News. And then you've got the Dalisto of the Dalisto of the Dimesto, Real America's Voice. Have you heard of it? I haven't. So she's out in the D leagues. She's out there with the people on the practice squad of a football team. And she says here, POTUS wants this agency to be eliminated. I think there's a way to take some of the assets that are strong and good and find a new home for them. But as for right now, this agency is rotten to the core and it cannot be salvaged in its current form. Now, again, contradiction on contradiction. First of all, acknowledging Trump will delete a lot of good stuff. Number one, that's counter-signaling the president, which I think is actually a valid thing to say that, yes, some of this bull, is worth it. Okay. Two is to also point out that it's rotten to its core and it can't be fixed right now. Okay, but when you took the job, did you not promise people you'd fix it? And all along here, up until like literally a few days ago, were you not also saying that, oh, I'm on the track of fixing it. I'm doing a great job. The president's doing a great job. We're doing this. We're speaking in Farsi. Now, what's the actual answer here? It seems like she's lying. Either by each side of the mouth, it's like, okay, well, I agree with the president, or actually I disagree with the president, but I can't let him know that because I'm groveling. And the last thing to discuss today, I happen to be overseeing one of the most corrupt agencies, U.S. agency for global media. Kari Lake joins Eric Bolling to detail the waste, fraud, and abuse she's uncovered. So again, you've been there for 5 months. Now you're going to say something? Sure, okay, great. She's basically pulling a Me Too on the federal government. Like, after I'm fired, after my agency's done for, let me gossip about what I found. It's like, okay, well, why didn't you just fix it then, and then maybe you'd have a job still? Which leaves me with this question, guys. As we're nearing the end of the video, one final question. What do you guys think is the next step for Kari Lake? She already lost the governor race. She already lost the Senate. Is she going to run for Congress, a state legislator seat, something? Is she just going to be a Matt Gaetz third-tier news anchor on a Dalisto Fox outlet? We don't even know. We don't even know. So anyways, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Comment down below what your thoughts are, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Adios.